Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to we're going to look at how you can manually program a flight in the Volocity. Let's go inside the aircraft. As you can see, it's raining, so it's better to stay inside. And this is the, I would say, board computer of the Volocity. It shows the batteries, it shows the RPMs, it shows the say artificial horizon, including VOR options, the speed, the altitude, the altimeter, the heading, the course. Everything is nice, but the most interesting thing is here, and that's on the map, right? So if you click on the map, you can go to the active flight plan. In this case, it's empty because it doesn't have a flight plan. And you can easily add a flight plan by starting with the origin, which is in our case Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. So we're gonna do that. Echo Hotel Romeo Delta, and then we press enter, and that will add Rotterdam Airport as the originating airport. Now when we scroll down, you can add en route waypoints, but you can also add destination, right? The destination is really the destination airport which you're flying to. So let's assume that we're going to Amsterdam Airport, Echo Hotel Alpha Mike. Then we're going to press enter, and then you can directly see a pink line walking from our departure airport to, I would say, the destination airport, including the degrees, the distance, and the altimeter, right? So this is in this case 12 feet under, I would say, under sea level. By using the minus and plus options, you can easily, I would say, move around. And what you can do also is when you hold the left mouse button is you can scroll, but you can see it acts a little bit weird, but that's an option. So if you would zoom in again and down, let's add some other waypoints, right? So let's add RTM, for example. So to do that, we can use the add en route waypoint. So simply punch in RTM, then hit enter, and now it will modify our flight plan and will add RTM to our flight plan. So let's see if we can find another one which we can use. WIT. Yep, so now it has added this one, ATWIT, and then let's see if we can find some waypoints close to Amsterdam Airport. Let's add, for example, well, let's make a detour. Let's go via Papa Alpha Mike, Mike, and then hit enter. In some cases it finds multiple waypoints. In this case it also finds it, but based on this you can look at the distance, which shows you, okay, hey, what's the waypoint I need to select. And also because of the icon here, I know that this is the one because it also shows it here, right? So now we're done. You can press done, and then it has set up the flight plan for you completely. That's really easy, right? So now let's look at some other nice things which you can do. One of the things is you can go to the procedures option, and when selecting procedures you can select the departure procedure. In this case we're flying from Rotterdam The Hague Airport, and runway 6 is the one we're departing from. Then the departure route it has selected is Alpha November Delta India to Alpha, and this is the sequence, and the sequence is simply, okay, hey, I'm first gonna fly to RD153, then to RD151, RD150, then to Papa Alpha Mike, and then to Andy, right? If you're happy with this, you can select the load button, but if you're not happy with this, you can select a different departure route by clicking on the list. For example, you can select 2B. In that case, you will see that the list of waypoints is different, but you can also see that the runway has changed now to runway 24. So you can, let's select on 3R. In this case, runway 06, and it will fly this one. This is the first waypoint, this is the last waypoint, and that's also what you see in the departure name. In almost all cases, the last I would say waypoint is this is being used as the name of the departure route. So Andy refers to Andy, right, which we just selected here. So that's cool, right? So you can see that Arnhem is also here, but it's kind of weird. It looks like a refresh issue because it wasn't there before. Yeah, now it's correct. You can see that there are some issues with refreshing this piece, but that's fine. Then in some scenarios you also have the transition, which means the transition from the departure route to the, let's say, end route. In this case there's no transition, so we can leave it and we can press load. In which case it will now set departure to ND to A. So the nice thing about this is that you can still select it and make changes, right? But since we're not, let's say, wanting to make changes, we can simply hit load and then go to the flight plan. And if we would look at the active flight plan, you will see that several waypoints are now being added. You can see that now from Rotterdam The Hague Airport it goes to USR, then to the individual waypoints, and then it goes back to the en route. Well, in this case the en route waypoints don't make any sense, because that would mean that we're flying first straight out, then we're making a turn back to Rotterdam The Hague Airport, and then we're gonna go back. So what you can do is, if you can click on the waypoint which you want to remove, you can say remove waypoint, right? And that's can be done via the other ones also. That's one of the options you can do. The other options, as you just saw, is that you can change the active lag, which means this one, the active lag to the waypoint, which refers to, in this case, let me deselect it. In this case the active lag is from Rotterdam The Hague Airport to USR, and then from USR to RD153. So let's assume that we want to skip this one and want to start from here and then directly fly to Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. In that case we're selecting the option, or the waypoint, sorry, and then selecting the option active lag to waypoint. In that scenario it will change it, and if you're looking closely at the map, let me do that. Let me zoom in a little bit further. You can also see that it has changed the active lag by marking this piece pink. Cool, right? What are other options what we have here? Well, you can insert an additional waypoint. So let's assume that after RD153 we want to visit another waypoint. We can simply hit the option insert before or insert after. In this case I'm not going to add anything, but those are the options which you can easily use to either add a waypoint before the selected waypoint or after it. Last option is the direct to, and the direct to helps you in most cases when you need to select an approach, because in the approach it will normally fly back to the previous waypoint if you're unlucky, and then fly again to the other waypoint. So if that happens, you can use the direct to option to, let's say, kind of fix that issue, because the direct to option allows you to select a waypoint from to which you're gonna fly directly to. So in this case you can say, hey, RD153 direct to, I simply want to fly directly to this waypoint, so I want to skip the other waypoints. In the procedures you also have the arrival and approach, right? You can select approach and then select the runway, in this case ILS approach 6, transition Alfa Romeo Tango India Papa, and those are being assigned to you by the air traffic control, also known as the ATC. Here you see another option on the bottom, because keep in mind that for the departure we only had the option to say remove and load, because it automatically activates it. But in approach case you will have the option to say load and activate, in which case if you're flying and then you're defining an approach, you can select the approach and then directly hit load and activate. If I now would press load only and go back to the flight plan, you will see that it has loaded the flight plan, or loaded the approach 6, including the altimeter restrictions. And then eventually we will land at runway 06 of Amsterdam Airport. Right, so these are the altitude restrictions. So in this case it will give you a direction on Alfa Romeo Tango India Papa, we need to be at 10,000 feet. But if we scroll down further at Alpha Mike 611, 7,000. Then at Sierra Oscar Kilo Sierra India 4000. And if we would scroll further, then you will see that at Alpha Mike 110 2000. So it will also guide you, okay, what is the flight level you need to fly with when doing the departure. Nice, right? So are there any other options? Well, unfortunately not. There's not so much more options in this, I would say, in this machine or in this Garmin system. It's a pretty limited system. There are some menu options which you can use, but the menu option simply brings you to this page. There are the direct to option, which I just showed you, right, in the flight plan, is also shown here. So you can add this one and then say activate RD 151, which makes it possible to say fly directly to this waypoint, as just explained. So this is kind of a shortcut. And then you've got the nearest option, and the nearest option is, I would say, pretty cool because it allows you to find out an airport which is close to you, or a VOR beacon which is close to you, right? VOR or NDB or an intersection, right? So that is, I would say, it's all kind of cool information which you can do. Nearest is probably the most useful because you might want to select a specific airport. If you select the airport, you can either say, okay, hey, I want to go direct to it, or if you already have a flight plan being configured, you can use the instant flight plan option. In this case, when I press direct to, and then I can say activate, it will directly activate this flight plan for me, right? So if we go back to the flight plan option, you will see that it has replaced the existing flight plan with the new destination, and that will also be shown here normally. Yeah, you can see new pink line, which is shown here, and you can easily focus on the aircraft by pressing the aircraft and or zoom in or out using the plus and minus buttons. So this was, I would say, a short video about how to plan your flight manually using the Volocity aircraft / helicopter. Of course, you can predefine your flight plan also using the built-in flight planner from Flight Simulator, which automatically loads the flight plan here. Or you can use SimBrief, which is one of the online flight planners, and then manually add the departure, arrival, and all the, I would say, en route waypoints manually by using the options we just had a look at. Here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, consider then to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.